Please say your name.
Esther Dyson.
Esther, it's so lovely to have you. Hear wonderful things about you and the community.
Great. Glad to be here.
Yeah. How did you first hear about Disruptive Technologists?
So long ago I don't remember. I've run into Lauren many times over the years, and that's about it.
Nice. So you've never been to one of these events before?
I think I have in the distant past. I've certainly been to the dinners. I mean, the events, there's lots of different events, and they have different shapes, so...
Definitely. And we've seen, tonight in every event, and I'm sure you've seen at these dinners, the people that Lauren typically brings together. And for those that don't know who I'm talking about, Lauren Keeson, who organizes these events and reaches out to, why we're all here tonight. The diversity of panelists and speakers and guests, it's just kind of astounding. We have people in the medical field, in banking, in startup industries. How do you feel seeing all of those people come together for the purpose of technology and advancement? We don't even have to say artificial intelligence, but we'll just say, disruptive tech.
It's nice. The more people think about less about it and more about what it can do, the better.
Definitely. And can you tell me a little bit about your industry and what advancements you've seen maybe in the last 2 years?
Okay, so I have lots of different industries, everything from logistics and 3D printing to AI. Let's talk about AI. I think, honestly, one of the most interesting things about AI is not that it has biases, it reflects our biases, but that using AI exposes our biases. Because you look at the AI and say, why did it do this?
Right.
And then you realize, well, it's because people did this. And maybe if we examine the results, these were not optimal results. And maybe we should reduce that bias both in people and in AI. Because people sort of expect people to have good judgment, but they question the AI's judgment. And as they question it, they realize, this is the same decisions people have been making.
Right. That's interesting you bring that up, because there was, I think it was a couple panels ago, that was a topic. How do we train AI for good and not bad, but also the unbiased decisions, and you
how do we train people for good?
Exactly. Well, that is really interesting. So tonight, are you expecting anything to come out of the discussions or people to ask certain questions?
Honestly, no. I'm just waiting to see what happens. I enjoy spontaneous conversation. I hate preparing. I spent my life preparing in one sense, and I've spent no time preparing in another.
So that's very interesting. I'm like you. I like to prepare, but I also don't like to prepare. So what do you mean by you spent your whole life preparing?
I've been doing interesting stuff. I've learned about Russia, space travel, AI, the whole tech community, and all those things actually inform my understanding of the other things. Russia explains a lot to me about the depths of despair and cynicism. Logistics and 3D printing, that has a lot to do both with space travel on the one hand and the whole issues around how the economy works and things are made and distributed and so forth. So
that's very interesting. So all of those things that you mentioned, they seem so different, but from what you've learned, do you think everything ultimately connects?
Yeah, they all connect. They're still different, but again, 3D printing has a huge impact on logistics and where things are manufactured and on recycling, and that has an impact on freight rates to China, and that has an impact on economic issues and so forth.
Very nice. And last question for you. I know there's so many things going on. Every day there's a new advancement or a new announcement, or, we can't keep up with all these new technologies and ideas. But is there something at the moment, it could be a person, it could be a product, could be a commercial, that's something you saw that is new, exciting, and makes you very excited?
Wow. There's...
Doesn't just have to be one, if there's a couple.
Yeah. No, honestly, the thing that, this is not a product, the thing that keeps sticking in my mind right now is the two Elon Musks.
Oh, yes.
So there's the Elon Musk at SpaceX, which is well run and organized and does amazing stuff, and he's got Gwynne while running things. And there's the Elon Musk at Tesla, which does amazing things, but is a really tough place to work, and kind of out of control. And it just shows how important it is to have a team that will both support you and control you. And I mean, we're seeing WeWork and Uber and all these other things, and Elon is both of them, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. And do you think the fact that a lot of people and a lot of young people idolize him, do you think that says something about our culture today?
Sure.
What do you think it says?
I mean, it goes back to when someone's trying to raise money and they tell me I've always wanted to be CEO, I run. Like that is not a good goal. What I like to hear is I've always wanted to do X, and I think the best way, I looked around, the best way probably is for me to start this company. But if ultimately it needs another CEO, that's great. I just want to start it and make it happen. And that's how I started the thing I'm working on now. I created it, but then I brought a CEO in to make sure that I wouldn't destroy it by, being too over-controlling.
Yeah.
There's this wonderful thing that Buddha said: if you like a flower, you'll pluck it and smell it. But if you love the flower, you'll leave it where it is and water it.
It's very powerful, and that should be noted on a multitude of things in this world. But I see where you're coming from, and it's an interesting time we're living in when we're seeing everyone wants to be the CEO and the rock star at the same time, and
they want to be rich.
Yeah.
Like I'm worth $400 million. Whoa.
That's true. Well, thank you so much, Esther.
For the record, I'm not worth $400 million.
That's okay. We can say whatever.
Anyway, thank you very much. That was a pleasure.
Well, looking forward to hearing you speak tonight, and I'm sure everyone will have so many questions for you. And just I have more questions, but I don't want to keep you from the rest of the evening. But again, pleasure is all mine.
Thank you. Great.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We'll go mingle.